Hey guys, this is Josh Farley back with another video. And in this video, I'm actually going to be doing more T-Mobile 5G home internet speed tests. So it is actually 12:53 a.m. on a Friday. I don't go to bed, till like 3 or 4, because I work night shifts. So I just, figured that I would get a video out, and do some more speed tests. So it is actually raining out there. It's been raining and it's been windy. And it's also been, storming recently. Or at least today, it's been storming today, off and on. So I just want to see what kind of speeds we get, for this time of night, when there's not that many people online, and stuff, and with the weather being bad. So I actually did switch, the bands, as I always say, I do use third-party equipment. I'm not using the stock stuff from T-Mobile. I'm actually using the Chester Cheetah version 2 third-party gateway / modem with band locking available. So I've been, messing around with the band locking and stuff. So, the speeds might be a little bit slower, than normal, because I'm still messing around with it, to find out, what bands work the best, with bad weather. And not only that, during the day, during, specific times of the day, I'm trying to get a happy medium, between the download and the upload speeds. I'm not going to really get anything, I don't believe that I'm going to get anything, really good, when it comes to the upload speed. I just think that we have horrible upload speed in our area. There's not really anything I can do about that. But I'm going to try my best to at least get it, up on par, at least, over 10, for the upload, try to get that, to be more consistent, and obviously keep the download around the same, 500 to 600 if I can. But if I can't, if I can get better upload, and sacrifice a little bit of the download, that wouldn't be too bad. But I would like to have a happy medium, but, if that doesn't happen, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to switch back to Comcast or Xfinity, or anything like that. It works for, what we need it for. We're not a hardcore gamer or anything, I don't game or anything. Once in a while my niece will bring over her Nintendo Switch, OLED, but, that's not really, what you consider hardcore gaming. And not only that, she's bringing it over a few times. We've hooked it up to the TV and we haven't had any problems. My sister actually has games for it like BioShock, and stuff like that, and a couple of other games I forget off the top of my head. Excuse me, but anyway, I kind of ran it in another video that I made, a few days ago or yesterday. I was getting aggravated about the upload speeds, and I was, talking about switching back to Comcast or Xfinity. But I'm not going to do that, because Comcast and Xfinity, they're just expensive. And, they act like you can save, if you bundle with them and all that kind of crap. I bundle with, T-Mobile. I have them for my phone service. And they actually give me, a pretty good deal on the T-Mobile 5G home internet. I'm still only getting it for $50 a month, which is definitely not bad at all. Especially considering it's $60 now, or, $55, with auto pay. So, we basically get the home internet for only like $40 a month, because I have a $5 auto pay discount for my Google Pixel 8 Pro, that I bring over to them. And I also have an auto pay discount for my Google Pixel Watch 2 LTE. And then, I get an auto pay discount for the T-Mobile 5G home internet, itself. So that's definitely not bad at all. So basically, we pay like $40 a month for the 5G home internet, which is definitely not bad. But anyway, let's actually get into this video. Sorry about going off topic there, but, I definitely think it's a better deal than Comcast or Xfinity. And, satellite internet is the best thing, that we could get. The next best thing, if you want to call that a best thing, it's not really, that great. And, I've made other videos talking about, that we can't get, T-Mobile, we can't get Verizon 5G home internet, not T-Mobile. We can't get Verizon 5G home internet in this area. The only thing that they'll actually offer is 4G LTE home internet, which I think is a little bit odd. Especially, like I've said in my other videos, especially since Verizon, claims that they're the best network in the world, which, I don't really believe that in my opinion, but that's my opinion. I actually think T-Mobile is better, especially when it comes to 5G, 5G, availability and stuff, and just, I think that they're better in buildings and stuff because I've had Verizon. My sister swears by them. She thinks they're the best. And everything. She says that they're better than T-Mobile and all this, and I'm like, yeah. And I had Verizon, and I could only get like one bar, in my room in the house, and I left them because of that. I only got like one bar, in the house, basically everywhere in the house. And I actually tried them a few years back again, and I occasionally I would actually get no signal with them, in the house. So that's crazy. They claim they're the best network in the world, but I couldn't even get signal. I contacted them too. I told them, I said, look. I don't know what's going on here. I said, but I can get, basically full bars. I mean, look at my bars right now with T-Mobile, on my phone. As you can see right there, it's basically full bars. I get full bars basically everywhere in the house, with T-Mobile for my phone, and I told them that. I said, well, I guess I'll be switching back to T-Mobile, and I did. And I've been with them for years, ever since. So, and I don't plan on switching. So yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Verizon is the best network in the world. I really don't. Especially in rural areas, they definitely don't seem to be the best. So anyway, let's actually get into this video and run some speed tests here. Like I said, it is 12:59, almost 1 a.m. On a Friday. I actually, I'm staying up because I don't normally go to bed until 3, because I work, night shift and stuff. So, but let's actually see what we get here. And like I said, I do have the Chester Cheetah version 2, hooked up and everything. I have the waveform 4x4 antenna connected to that. And it is bad weather, and I've been messing with the band locking and stuff, so you have to keep that in mind. That the speeds are probably going to vary, especially with me messing with the band locking and stuff. So, you just want to keep that in mind. So West Norton, PA, that's the server that I normally start off. So I'm going to run 3 on this, and then I'm going to run 3 on the Ashburn, VA server. So yeah, that's not a good sign. It must have switched back to the 4G LTE signal again. And that's actually what it's been doing. It's been doing that, with the with when we have storms and stuff. It's been switching back to the 4G signal. So I'm going to actually go up here in the attic, and I can guarantee that it doesn't say 5G. Nope, not saying 5G. Wow. So it's still see, this is the aggravating thing. This is the thing that I absolutely hate. I have to come up here, or I have to, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to actually restart it using the gateway admin page, because I have to put in my password and stuff. Normally the password for that kind of stuff is admin. But I actually changed it. I changed it to another password for better security. But this is the thing that I don't want to deal with. It's a stormy day. I realize it's stormy. I realize it's raining and stuff. It's very windy out there. But the thing is, 5G seems to be very, very, like bad when it comes to bad weather. Like it just doesn't seem to want to stay connected, when it's bad weather. So I'm going to actually try to restart this here and see if I can get it back to the, the 5G signal. I'm going to actually unplug it here. So, that's the one drawback about 5G, in this area. I live in a rural area, and it just seems that, and I have a waveform 4x4 antenna connected. I don't really understand, why, and that's facing out toward the tower, and the tower is only right down the road from me. So, I really don't understand this at all. Unless, it also could be because, like I said, they are working on the 5G in my area. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to jump ship or anything because of this, because all I have to do after bad weather is restart the gateway. But, I don't have to, it's not like I have to actually come up here and do it. I can just do it, from my phone normally. But, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to, I don't want you guys to see my, admin password and stuff. So, but I just, I don't know if it has to do with them doing the network maintenance, which is very possible. But I've actually noticed, when I was at work, when I've been at work, I've noticed that it does the same thing. Like if I'm at work, there's a tower right there, like I've said before. And the 5G signal, it's got to be like a weak signal, and it is a weak signal for the 5G home internet, here, where I live in South Jersey. We basically get weak signals, for the 5G here. So, it's very spotty. Like I'll get 5G, at my job, occasionally, but most of the time it's actually on 4G or 4G LTE. Most of the time it's 4G LTE. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll get 4G as well. Depending where I am, what building I'm at the school. They have different buildings and stuff there, and sometimes I go to the high school, the middle school. I actually work at the elementary school. But as I can see here, the gateway is actually not going back to 5G, so that's definitely not a good thing. Let me actually see what we get with just the 4G. So yeah, that's definitely not good at all. I mean, those speeds are usable, when it's bad weather. But the thing is, I really shouldn't have to put up with that. I really shouldn't have to put up with this. When it's bad weather. I shouldn't have to deal with it switching to 4G. I mean, I guess it just does that because it's getting the better signal, and you have to keep in mind, that I'm also using third-party equipment. I'm using the Chester Cheetah version 2. So if I would actually turn off, I might actually try doing that, in another video or something, or when I get off of this video, I might actually try, actually turning off the 4G because I can actually do that on this. But the thing is with that, I don't know if I would actually lose connection altogether, because the 5G just needs to be upgraded in this area. That's why I'm going to give it a couple of years. I'm not going to switch or jump ship or anything, from T-Mobile. Like I said, it's still a very new, technology. 5G is still a very new technology. That's why I said in my other videos, it's very area specific. So you have to keep that in mind. That's very area specific. You might not even get 5G in your area. Like I've said, on my phone, I literally am right next to a tower. At the school that I work at the elementary school that I work at. I'm a night shift custodian there. And I can literally go outside and walk to that tower. That's how close the tower is to me. But the downside to that is, I've actually been out there before, and I actually see that it goes from 5G. Sometimes it'll be 5G, regular 5G, and then it'll go to 5G UC, and then it'll go to 4G LTE. And it'll just fluctuate. So it seems like the 5G is just not there yet. It seems like it's not, like broadly available. It seems like it doesn't reach out as much, as the 4G LTE or the 4G signal. So like I said, I'm gonna give it time. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not gonna really do any more speed tests tonight. But there's not really any sense because it's defaulting to 4G LTE, and it's actually saying that on the gateway. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, it's still saying that on the gateway. I was just looking at it. So, I'm going to give them a chance. I'm going to give them a chance. According to what the woman said when I chatted with them on the T-Mobile 5G, on the T-Mobile internet app, I chatted with them, or the T-Mobile app. I chatted with them and I told them, that I was having like ping spikes and stuff, and I wasn't actually getting the speeds, that I was used to getting, and actually, I can actually show you guys. I actually saw on Down Detector earlier that T-Mobile was actually in the red, so we can actually check that. So they're no longer in the red, but they actually are in the yellow. So it says user reports indicate possible problems at T-Mobile. So that's definitely not a good thing. It says mobile internet 42%. So that's actually went up. That wasn't actually that much before. That wasn't that much before. Definitely not. And it's saying mobile phone 33%, 15% for 5G home internet. So the 5G home internet is down somewhat. Not as much. It was up in the 30s or 40s, I believe, a few days ago. But that's definitely not a good sign, though. It says user reports indicate possible problems at T-Mobile, and it was actually in the red earlier when I checked it when I was at work. And it is actually showing quite a bit of red in the the area over there on the map. So it's that's definitely not good. And like I said, it says actually down here it says 5G UC is giving me issues to where I can't use my web browser or Discord, but I'll connect to Facebook and here. Um, so it says a lot of people still seem to be having problems with T-Mobile. So that's definitely not good. Let me actually run another speed test here just to see what we get. Now it is very windy out there right now. It's actually really windy out there right now. So these speeds are usable. It's not like they're not usable speeds. I mean, 120, or over 100 on the download, is definitely usable during a storm or during bad weather. So I'm not really overly concerned about that. But I just feel like whenever there's bad weather, it seems like 5G just doesn't work. And I've actually talked about that before in my videos. It seems like like I said, when it's bad weather at the school, it's actually supposed to rain tomorrow. So I'm sure that I'm probably not going to get a good 5G signal tomorrow at school, or at the school. So I think that it's a combination. Like I said, I'm just, imagining what it could be, or thinking about what it could be. But I'm actually thinking that they're working on the network, like they said. And I think that could be the problem because I didn't actually used to have this problem with the waveform antenna connected in the Chester Cheetah when I first got it. The Chester Cheetah version 2. I didn't actually have this problem, before. So I'm thinking that it has something to do with not only them working on the network, and they told me when I chatted with them that they were particularly, if I can get it out, particularly working on the 5G network. So they told me that they were particularly working on the 5G network in this area, and they did give me the tower ID, the one that they were actually working on. And she told me that it's supposed to be done by April 27th. And it's only like April 10th or April 11th or something like that. So I have a text message right there, so I don't really want to pull down my notification thing. Actually, I can go to the home screen here. Yeah, it's April 12th. So so they told me April 12th, not April 12th, April 27th. They told me April 27th, they would be, basically completed on, getting the, towers how they need to be. But like I said, it could take them a little bit longer, or shorter. It could take them shorter time to do it. But I would probably, say April 27th or a little bit after, maybe like April 30th or something like that. Maybe a few days after. But You know, like I've said, I just feel like the 5G is not there in this area yet. Because I get a weak 5G signal, and in my house, in my mom's house, we only get 5G UC occasionally on our phones. I have a Google Pixel 8 Pro. So I kind of wonder, why I don't get 5G UC, on this phone, because this phone can definitely get the updated, the best, bands, available, with T-Mobile, because it's updated to be able to get those kind of bands. It's one of the, it's obviously the latest phone right now. And even with my Google Pixel 8, before I upgraded to this, updated to this, upgraded, whatever you want to call it, that could also get the, I believe that could get the 5G, ultra capacity band. I think that it did. I don't know if it could get all of them, but it did get some of them. But it's just very spotty. The signal up here in the attic is weak. It's weak. It seems to be weak. Throughout the whole house. And that just shouldn't be, in my opinion. That just shouldn't be. Especially with a tower being right down the road from us, that just shouldn't be. So I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping that, they're going to be updating this, then they're going to be, well, they are updating it according to what they said, or upgrading it, whatever you want to call it. But I'm hoping after that happens, I'm hoping that I'm going to see, speed increases and better reliability, when it comes to, 5G. And it's just weird to me because I'm right near the tower at work, like I said, and that's only like 20 or 25 minutes away. I believe it's like 28 minutes away. I only, work like 28 minutes away. And that's just inexcusable to me, to be able to stand outside and only get, 4G LTE. So that tells me that the 5G is just not there yet. Because it's iffy. Even at my job, I'll go in certain classrooms and I'll see 5G UC come up, and then I'll see 5G, and then I'll see 4G LTE. If I move, to a little bit to my left or a little bit to my right, it seems like, it just doesn't, it just seems like right now, the 5G is like piggybacking, off of the 4G LTE signal. That's actually what it seems like to me. It just seems like it's not, actually full 5G. It just seems like, we're still using, 4G LTE or 4G, and then 5G is kind of thrown in there. It's not like, all the way there. It's like, on the top of it or on the back burner, as I should say, not on top of it. It seems like it's like on the back burner, like in other words, it's, 4G LTE is first, and then there's 4G, and then there's, first there's 4G, and then there's 4G LTE, and then there's 5G. So, like I said, it's basically, like it's on the back burner, which is not good. So, like I said, there's speculation. The main thing that I think, is that, it's just not there yet. Like I said, I'm not going to keep ranting about it. There's not anything I can do about it. I'm not going to jump ship or anything from T-Mobile 5G home internet, because of this. It's kind of an inconvenience. Sometimes I have to reboot the gateway and stuff, in order to get the, the 5G signal back. But it's not really that big of a deal. I can do it from my phone. I can tell, Google to do it because I have it hooked up to a Wi-Fi smart plug. I can just, have Google turn that on and off. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not like I have to come up here all the time and manually do it. That's the beauty about technology, being in 2024. But my speculation is that, it's just not there yet. Like I said, I'm not gonna, keep repeating myself. I know I've been saying that in this video a lot. But it just seems to me that it's just not pushed out all the way yet. And that you have to kind of be patient with this kind of stuff. Is in other words what I'm saying. You kind of have to be patient with it. I'm going to be patient with it. I'm going to give it a few years. I've had them for like a year and a half to 2 years now, and I've been, I've been, pretty much happy with them. There's a little bit of inconveniences here and there. Like this, what I have to do with this, I have to deal with it going to 4G LTE. If we get really high winds or, a bad storm or something. But that's, that doesn't last long. And, most of the time, I don't, it just doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bother me, because I know once the storm is over and stuff, I'm going to get my speeds back. So it's not that big of a deal. And the speeds are usable on the 4G. They're definitely usable. So I'm not overly concerned about that. Now, if they were only like 10 to 20, on the download or the upload or something like that, or the upload was like one, or two, then yeah, I would be like, I would be kind of aggravated. But I also have my phone, that I can use. I can use my phone's data, which is actually not much faster than that, on the 4G LTE. Because like I said, the 5G is spotty in this area on my phone also. So, like I said, guys, I just wanted to get this video out there. I was gonna actually do speed tests in this video, but it ended up kind of being an off topic video. It's not really off topic. But I expected to do speed tests, without it going back to 4G LTE. But I'm gonna try to mess around with it more. I'm gonna try to do more band locking, and stuff like that, and maybe switch it on, standalone 5G, and see what that gives me. See if it stays on there. Or messes up or whatever, I don't know. But I'm gonna mess around with it more, and see what I get. But that's basically the video, guys. I just didn't, I didn't want to rant about this or anything. I just figured I'd let you guys know that this is what happens sometimes. When I get bad storms or high winds, or stuff like that. It does, occasionally cut out the 5G altogether. But like I've said, it seems to be doing that everywhere. I don't know if anybody else on my channel has actually had that problem with the T-Mobile 5G home internet. But like I've said, we get a weak 5G signal in the attic anyway. And I've tried putting it outside also, and we get a weak signal out there. Also, so there's not really, much, I can do about it, until they actually upgrade the area. And like I've said in my other videos, they have told me, that they're doing, 5G, maintenance. They're doing, 5G tower modernization, in my area, particularly on the 5G. So, it is true because they did give me the tower ID. And I actually looked that up, like I said in my other videos. I actually looked that up, and they told me that it's going to be, completed basically, around April 27th. So, that's all I can do. That's all I can do is I can, hope for that. There's not really anything, I can do about it, until then. I'm hoping, like I said in my other videos, that I actually go from a weak signal to a good signal, at least for the 5G, and just have it be more reliable. It just needs to be more reliable, especially when it's storming or bad weather. It just seems like it's not as reliable as the 4G or the 4G LTE. That's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing. But like I've said, you have to take into consideration, that it's still a new technology. It's definitely not ready to take over 4G or 4G LTE. It's definitely not ready to do that. But so that's basically the video, guys. Let me actually do one more speed test on the 4G before I leave here and see actually see what we get, just to be curious. So I mean, those speeds are definitely usable during a storm. And it's really windy out there right now. Like I said, it's really windy and raining out there right now. So, those are definitely usable speeds. Let me actually load up ESPN here and see how long it takes. So, yeah, I mean, boom. I mean, check the Phillies score. Of course, an ad. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty fast. I mean, that's not really that slow. Let me actually load up the Google Play Store here. Let me download Temu just to see what it does, see how long it takes. So yeah, I mean that was fairly fast actually. I mean that wasn't slow. So that's definitely usable. I mean especially when it's bad weather, that's definitely usable. Definitely usable speeds. I mean, like I said, if it was only like 20 or 10, for the download, then I'd be a little bit upset. But that's not bad though, and the upload is definitely not too bad. That's about what we average for the upload on the 5G. So that's not bad. I mean, that's definitely not bad. On the 4G signal, definitely not. But obviously, I'll be glad when the storm passes, and I get the 5G speeds back. But that's usable until the storms are over with and everything, and it goes back to the 5G signal, the weak 5G signal. But that's the main thing that I'm hoping that improves. I would like to at least get a good 5G signal instead of a weak 5G signal. And like I said, I should be able to get that, especially using a waveform 4x4 antenna, pointed directly out the window to the tower right down the road from me. I just don't think that I should be getting, I just don't think that I should be getting a weak signal. Is basically what I'm saying, and the signal, just shouldn't be dropping out like that. It just shouldn't drop out like that. Even with storms and stuff, it shouldn't drop out like that because the 4G signal doesn't do that. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that I get a better 5G signal, and I'm also hoping that I get better, speeds for the upload and better ping. And also, better download speeds. Basically just more reliable. Is basically what I'm trying to say. More reliability. Is what I'm trying to say. But like I said, we'll see. They told me April 27th, they'll be done, working on. And like I said, I didn't used to have this problem, so I think it is due to them working on the towers. When the weather is bad. They might have some bands down, or some bands, set to lower frequencies or something since they're working on the 5G, particularly like she said. And she did give me the tower ID, and I did look that up, and it is the tower, that's down the road from me, only like a mile and a half, maybe not even, down the road from me. So she did, actually give me that tower ID, and she told me that that's the one, and I said, yeah. I said that's the one. So she told me, that they're working on that tower with the 5G, particularly. That's all I can do, guys. That's all I can do is wait it out. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna stick with them no matter what anyway. Because we don't have many options for, home internet in this area. So I'm just gonna, stick with them. Not only that, I've spent all this money, on this stuff. So I'm definitely gonna get my money's worth out of it, until I, figure, unless I figure, one day that it's not worth it. I hope that that's not the case, but right now, I'm going to stick with them. I have them for my phone, and I only get it for like $40 a month, like I've been saying. So, definitely not bad at all. But let me actually run one more speed test here. That wind really is howling out there. And obviously the ping is going to be higher, when it's bad weather. So and it is on a 4G signal right now, so you have to keep that in mind as well. the ping fluctuates a lot when it's bad weather, so there's not, really much you can do about that. But most of the time it goes down. Let me see if it goes down actually. So yeah, as you can see, it did go down. But yeah, I'm fine with that though. I mean, as long as I get over 100 on the download, when there is bad weather, when it's like really bad weather, I'm not, really too concerned about that. I can use those, speeds when it's bad weather. I'm not really that concerned. And like I've said, I do believe that it's because of them working on the towers on the 5G. Because it didn't used to do this. Like I said, when I had the stock T-Mobile 5G home internet gateway up here in the attic, it didn't used to do that. It didn't used to default to 4G LTE. When we had bad weather before, it would actually stay on 5G at all times. And same with the setup I have now. It's just started doing this, recently. And they told me that too. They told me that it can fluctuate. When they're working on the towers. If they're doing, tower modernization. She told me, that it's possible that it'll go from 5G to 4G LTE or 4G. And then back to 5G and then 4G. And she told me that the weather can definitely affect it because if they're working on the towers and stuff, updating them or whatever physically or from the T-Mobile place themselves. Like the T-Mobile headquarters themselves, I should say. Then that's gonna be a possibility that you have problems, because it's gonna bad weather combined with them working on the network. That's never a good thing. So you have to keep that in mind. But not too bad on that one. I mean, 120 for the download, 12.9, basically 13 for the upload, and only 32 ping. But I'm not going to run any more speed tests in this video, though. I'm going to get off of here, get something to eat, and, relax a little bit before bed. I have to, get up, not, early or anything, but, so I might actually run some more speed tests tomorrow before I actually go to work on a Friday. It's actually Friday now, but I actually might run some more speed tests, before I go to work. I know this was supposed to be a speed test video, but it kind of ended up, becoming a rant, not really a rant, but, just a talking video. I did run a couple of speed tests on the 4G signal here, but, it's not going to be as fast as the 5G. I mean, it's just not. You can't really expect that. I mean, that's, it's just not new. That's just not the newest technology, so it's not going to, be as fast. But I have actually seen some places where 4G LTE is actually pretty fast, but around here, it doesn't really seem to be that fast, honestly, even on my phone. But I actually when I had Verizon, their download speed wasn't even really that fast. And that's why I told them no when they told me, well, we have 4G LTE home internet available in your area, and I told them, oh no. I said no. I said I already tried your download speed. I already tested your download speed on my phone when I had you guys before, and I was like, no. I only got I believe I only got 50 for download speed on their network, which was absolutely terrible. And that was only like a year ago, and then I went back with T-Mobile, and I was happy with them. I can actually see. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to actually, show you guys some speed tests and see what I get from my phone. But I'm just going to end this video now, guys. I'm just getting a little bit tired here. I'm going to, just relax a little bit for the rest of the night here. Like I said, I probably will, put out another video tomorrow, about what I get. I'll see what I get. tomorrow when the 5G signal comes back. Like I said, there's not, really anything I can do about it, especially if they're working on the network. Like they said they are doing, particularly working on the 5G, and you have to take that into consideration, them working on it, and bad weather. That's just not a good combination. So, but anyway, yeah, guys, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Like I say, I like to keep you guys in the loop. But anyway, yeah, guys, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, guys.